Sure. So we built the NFT integration into our platform about a year and a half ago. So this is not new to us. I've been involved with the NFT industry since 2018. The way that it works is that when the broadcast happens, like my voice is being broadcast through our technology right now, when that happens, a token is created.
Now transitioning to a live stream. If you hear silence at the end of the stream, please refresh this page.
Voice. I see voice in a number of different roles, playing a number of roles in healthcare. Simply as an educational role, where patients can ask questions. We're seeing that right now. There's lots of skills. Mayo Clinic has a skill out there on Amazon Alexa. You can get first aid. So, if you're trying to provide first aid for someone or CPR and you're not sure what to do, you just ask your device. So everything from, that's just one simple example. And you can get into content that is meant to be a guide for people with chronic illnesses, diabetes, for example, where that diabetic patient talks to their device and their device acts as a nurse or a care aide for them, and helps them to take care of themselves and guide them through their day and ask what their blood sugars are and record it. And everything is done seamlessly just by talking to your device. There's a huge movement right now for as our population gets older to keep people at home, aging in place, and these devices can start to act like care aids, provide. Actually, it's kind of crazy to think about it, but they can actually be companions. It has been that these devices decrease loneliness, decrease the sense of isolation among people that are living on their own, and so that's huge. They're not expensive devices, and it can help people to feel less lonely. And then one of the things that I'm most excited about, and this gets into the AI side of things again, is voice as a vital sign, meaning all the vocal biomarkers that we have in our voice. There's been studies that show that there's a correlation between the way that we speak, so not the words that are coming out of the mouth, but the way that we speak, the intonation, the frequency, the prosody, the rhythm, are correlated with mental illness, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, depression, and even physical illnesses such as coronary artery disease and mortality rates. So imagine that a device is now listening to you speak and alerts you to problems that could potentially be developing in your health simply based on the way that you speak. And to tie it all up in a bow, I guess, and then I'll pass it over to Ian, what I think we'll be seeing soon, sooner rather than later, is a voice interaction that leverages really a lot of the technologies that we've been talking about here this evening. So you get up in the morning, you're sick, you cough, your device hears you cough, you have a dialogue back and forth. It acts like a physician. It asks you specific questions. Do you have a sore throat? Do you have a runny nose, etc.? It starts to form a diagnostic impression. It then says you need to have a test done. You order that test by voice. It gets delivered to you by a drone. You do the test. It guides you through how to interpret that test. Then it says you need antibiotics. The antibiotic is delivered to you in a drone. And then it guides you through your care, making sure that you don't forget any doses, and monitors for your recovery. And if at any point there are any problems, it alerts you, and then it tells you to go see your doctor. And that whole experience, that whole healthcare journey, is done in the home, decentralized, and personalized. And that sort of takes advantage of a lot of the technologies that we've been talking about. And I think that is what we're going to be seeing sooner rather than later. So I'll stop there. Thanks.
That was awesome, Terry. Thank you. I'm going to cast two really quick visions just to spark imagination about how I see voice playing out. So 18 months from now, I imagine that Grandma Jane, she loses Grandpa John. And John's gone. But there's a tech company that's able to take Grandpa John, his videos, the audio files that his grandkids have of him, the text messages that he used to write to his niece and his nephew, his son and his daughter, and they're going to be able to take his voice and they will overlay Alexa, Samsung Bixby, Microsoft Cortana, whatever it is, or an independent voice assistant. And Grandma Jane, well, she's not doing so well because Grandpa John died. But now that Jane gets to listen to her deceased husband give her guidance, even though she's getting Alzheimer's, even though she has the onset of dementia, now it can be her deceased husband, his voice, with his empathy and his compassion that when it's time to get up, he speaks to her. Jane, it's John. It's time for you to get up. I'm going to play our favorite song right now, honey. And your daughter, she's going to come in the next 5 minutes. And she's going to bring you your favorite drink or your favorite snack. Or she's going to sit down with you and show you pictures of your grandkids. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if you don't remember them. That's normal. This is what you go through every day. And I used to be here to take care of you. But I'm not here with you anymore. But this at least is my chance to still be present with you. So imagine, my friends, what happens when we take it to that extent in the next year or two because of the pace of technology. One last thing as an inspiration for voice technology. Take it out 81 months. Starlink is everywhere. Every person, there's 3 billion people that don't have internet right now. There's 3 billion people that make less than $2.50 a day right now. Imagine every single one of them. It doesn't matter if they can't speak a major language. It doesn't matter if they're not articulate, if they can't read or write. But they'll have some sort of ring or some sort of watch or some sort of pair of glasses that will connect them to the internet. And they will have internet connectivity. And with their voice, they will be able to speak to the cloud and be able to tell the cloud what they want to learn. So they can get a skill, so they can actually apply themselves and be a productive member of the global society and make a living from that skill. Or maybe they're ready to actually teach something. And so they know how to rear children, they know how to cook, they know how to garden, they know how to do art. They have all kinds of crazy stories about their ancestors, what this ancestor did 50 years ago or 300 years ago. And they can start speaking and telling these amazing stories. And we're tired of Netflix. We're tired of Amazon Prime. We're tired of the same podcasters over and over again. We want to hear the Jungle Woman talk about her great ancestors and the fact that that Jungle Woman can speak in her own dialect, in her own voice, and have it translated into our voice and us be able to hear it with the rest of the globe in real time. And those are two really profound examples of what could happen in the next 18 to 81 months in the way I see technology scaling at the present moment.
So good. Well articulated, Ian. Let me do this really helpful, and thank you for sparking our imagination as we move towards closing the room. I'm going to hand it over to my informal Clubhouse mentor, Keith. I've learned so much about moderating rooms through him, and I appreciate you being here, Keith. Can you give us a little sense of what you're seeing in Clubhouse and maybe how different professionals can leverage this platform to learn more, connect more, and do more things through this particular technology? And before I hand it over to you, just thanks to all the moderators and people who participate in this conversation. And as Keith closes us out, I really recommend that you look around the room, people next to you, above you, below you, connect with folks. And I think there's a lot of good reasons.
Well, everybody